I said last week I was trying to figure out if my reasoning for picking Justin Thomas as my top dog was if I really felt that way, or if, Mike, you were just putting it in my head for the last 2 months.
Dude,
I am finding myself agreeing with you that Justin Thomas is my top dog. We're going to talk about Rahm. We're going to talk about DJ. We're going to talk about Jordan Spieth, who's not on this list. Is there anybody on this list that you guys would disagree over Justin Thomas as your top dog?
I mean, can Scheffler keep playing out of his mind?
I mean, the odds say no. Cameron Smith hasn't played since the Players, and we all know what happens to guys emotionally after they win a tournament like that. It just doesn't happen. You don't win the Players and then win the Masters. It just doesn't happen. Maybe one day it will, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
Yeah, Cam Smith does play Augusta well, the times he's played there. So, I mean, he's made, but you know what? I would take JT and Spieth versus the field.
So
honestly.
let's start with JT. So Justin Thomas, with the Open Championship aside, he really does not play this major well compared to the others. He's better at the PGA. He's better at the U.S. Open. The Masters really hasn't been his thing.
Yeah, he's been pretty bad.
And to me, I'm wondering if there's a reason for that.
There probably is. But it's interesting because I think this on paper fits him the best because he can work the ball
right
as well as anyone else. And if he has a shortcoming in his game, which I guess we all know he does, it's the putting inside 10 feet. And obviously with Matsuyama last year, it proved you don't have to be great inside 10 feet at putting at the Masters. So I mean, this fits him well, but Chris, what you're showing there, I mean, yeah, he's not always in contention, but with that said,
I don't throw that out the window.
I don't mind his reason for him either. You might say it's not good enough for somebody who you want to be confident in, but I mean, he did pretty good at the Valspar. He shot 3 straight 66s.
JT's recent form is incredible.
He was the one everybody was talking about at the Players. He got exhausted after that 69 he shot in that second round in those 40-mile-an-hour winds. So you can throw the Players out the window. In contention at the Genesis, in contention in Phoenix, not really so much, a little bit at the Farmers. Justin Thomas, from what I've seen, and this might be me talking myself into this pick, Mike, thank you. When he gets close, he eventually wins. But there's one problem with him, I felt. I really think he is the hardest player on tour to bet on because the guy has been all over the place. But it does show that when he's knocking on the door, he does eventually win, which is why I think he's my guy. He's my number one this week at the Masters, and I'm just not going to turn back. Can't talk yourself out of it.
I think with
Chris.
Bones on the bag, that's going to be such an intangible. Like I think that is such a game changer for him. Like I know you guys think that it's not going to make a big difference, but Bones has seen this course. And this course, I mean, the more experience you have, the better. So Bones is going to have some insight that, you know, JT's never had before. Also, JT's been out playing practice rounds with Tiger. They're buddies. I'm sure Tiger's given JT some insight to get him hopped up. And I think JT knows he needs to get the monkey off the back, and he's going to feed off that pressure. So I love JT. I think he's a great pick this week.
Is he your pick, Ty?
Well, he can't be my pick in our pool because I decided to burn him already. Yeah. I don't know. Like I told you guys last week that I'm thinking it might not be one of the big names, right? If we want to call him that anymore. So like, I'm kind of looking down the list a little bit to like maybe a Louis Oosthuizen.
You know what? Chris? You know what, man? I was going to go down the list of our top dogs here, but let me go to the best value right now. Louis on my list, but you know who also is?
Of course,
something about Shane Lowry. Just it's reminding me of Angel Cabrera. I don't know why. When he won that U.S. Open in 2007, and he just kind of floated around. He showed that he can win big tournaments, and then he won the Masters in 2009. Was it 2009? 2009. I just have a feeling that Shane Lowry, and if you watch the guy play golf, he can hit clutch shots. His putting has been the issue, and so that could be a reason why you fade him completely this week because the Masters is all about around the greens. I think the guy's going to hit clutch shots. It's a matter if he makes putts. Louis Oosthuizen at plus 4,000. I like that as well. Louis' putter is so hit or miss. He can be Cam Smith, like Cam Smith was at the Players, or he can be just completely off. Louis, I've always stayed away from him, but something about he and Shane Lowry it's kind of doing it for me this week.
I mean, I always dog him, right?
Right.
But
is he eventually going to get a first? He has all these second places. Is he eventually going to get a first? My gut says no. It's not.
Well, I mean, I think the only thing I have against him would be how long the course is going to be this year, right. and it's going to be soft because rain Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, but that's where I kind of want to go. I just don't see the top dogs going. But you know what? I mean, if you're asking me to pick, maybe Colin comes out of nowhere this week with his irons.
The putter for that.
Well, that's to the JT comment.
Right.
If he can get it inside 10 feet and he can get things to roll in for him, I think maybe he'd be my pick. So maybe that's who I'm riding this week.
I would like Lowry and Louis to go top 5 if you're picking multiple guys and doing multiple bets, top 5. Tony Finau has been so good at the Masters. The guy's been off. I don't see that happening. Mark Leishman's kind of a guy who's been calling the name a little bit too. That's why I put him on this list. And Paul Casey is the Augusta historian. He's the guy who's been there so much. I think he's got the same odds as Tiger. I think Paul Casey beats Tiger this week.
Paul Casey needs to go play in Saudi already.
He probably will.
I'm so sick of him hanging around. Can we flip back to someone who hangs out between top dogs and value? And I just want an opinion on Spieth from you guys, because that's my other dude who
I've got him on.
Who is
Chris
begging to be picked.
Yeah.
Just begging to be picked, man.
Mike,
great week.
I analyzed Jordan Spieth every single Masters he's done well, and all his first, his seconds, his thirds. He's got like 5 of those combined.
Yeah.
I've noticed a pattern though. Every single time he does well, he was doing very well leading up.
He's doing extremely well leading up.
But is he? Pebble Beach was literally his only time in the spotlight in terms of being in contention on the weekend. Look at the rest of these finishes.
Fair.
Look at the rest of them. They're all bad. I mean, Genesis.
But if you look at it statistically, his numbers are off the charts in one area except putting.
Exactly.
And we know that he knows these greens and he can get it going. And I think the only thing that's hurting him putting is his speed control. So back, when Jordan made every single putt, you always saw him go past the hole. He's been struggling this year with leaving them short. I have no doubt about it that he's going to feel at home on those Augusta greens and just start knocking them in from everywhere, because we've seen him do it. I mean, I do not count out Jordan Spieth. Tee to green, his irons, everything has been phenomenal this year. He's hitting the ball better than he ever has.
Mike, I can't get out of my mind watching him in Texas this week. Did you guys notice? He's fighting some things. He's doing this thing and his backswing, and he's trying to bend his left elbow.
He's
got some demons in his mind, and that.
No,
when you're doing that, Mike,
big
that
difference between fighting something and having a swing thought that you're working on.
So you're not.
He's been doing it 2 weeks now, and
he's doing every single swing.
No, he's been doing it for a couple of weeks now, and he's been hitting the ball great still.
Missed cut and tied for 35th.
Phenomenal, by the way. Phenomenal. He's playing phenomenal.
Look, I got this the bet of four players per major. I'm probably going to pick Spieth, but I don't know if I would pick him as my number one. He won't let you down. Do you guys remember the quote he had about 3 or 4 years ago saying that people fear him at Augusta?
Yeah, I think it's still true.
I don't. I hope it's true. I just feel like he's not in. He has to putt well, like you said. His putting has to get back. And I think
it's all very close.
What year was it?
I think it was 2018. He finished third. He finished third in 2018. I think that was the year he said that.
Humbled there on what was it? Okay.
Yeah, he did when he lost to Reed. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that was rough. Patrick Reed might not be a bad pick, my friends.
Get out of here.
What are his odds?
That guy can't hit the ball off the tee.
All right, tell me what you guys think about Dustin Johnson, because
never again.
Are you saying that Dustin Johnson's not going to get a top 5 in a major this year?
Why?
Not at the Masters.
I'm looking at guys who can get top 5s.
Mike? Are you solely going to say he won't just because the only reason he won was the time of the year? Is that it?
Oh, 100%. That's the only reason. This course does not set up well for his fade. I mean, let's be honest. The only reason he was able to win COVID year in the fall was because it played so much longer. But that's not the case this time of year.
No. They just lengthened the course this year, 11 and 15.
2 holes versus 18 holes playing longer.
Still,
come on, man. Get out of here. How many people that consistently fade the ball win here?
And it's going to be soft.
Well, Patrick Reed faded the ball. Sergio fades the ball. I guess Sergio.
Come on.
Tiger fades the ball.
Patrick Reed. Oh, Patrick Reed draws the ball.
Jack Nicklaus fades the ball.
No, you're naming ball strikers who work the ball both ways depending on the shot shape.
No.
Dustin Johnson is a bomb and gouge power fade. Come on, you know where I'm at here.
Dustin Johnson started with the draw, and then he went to the fade, and he started to win.
Mike, give me your rationale for why Dustin Johnson
does not win at Augusta.
Give me your rationale of why he has all these great finishes here.
Oh my gosh, great finishes! Like, he's a great player, so of course he's going to finish high relative to other people.
Look at those! Look at that list.
Combined with his form lately, like, he's also been dog shit. Can I say that? Sorry if I can't say that.
Well, these shows are actually streamed to our website online, so just don't do it again.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hopefully, what's the commission? The FCC. I'll pay the fine.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Hey, Mike, I will say this: around the green, DJ's been bad.
DJ's been bad all year. Like, I don't understand why you would even consider him.
174th around the greens and 130th
not ideal
on the greens, and both of them. It's not one or the other. It's not like he's Victor Hovland who can't get out of a bunker, but then he can make a 10-footer.
He's on his way outside the top 20, man. He is. I'm fading him like he hits his golf shots.
How about Jon Rahm? Fades the ball.
Sneaky,
but he's good.
Sneaky.
I don't put him in the same category as Dustin Johnson. This guy is a strategic short game guru.
He's so many hot takes this week.
His putter has been really iffy.
Yes, it has
so far this year.
150th in the world.
That surprised me after how well he putt last year. But you can't keep that up, right? So I think if he putts well, he'll be in contention. I don't see it happening though.
Here's what I think we all have to realize about Jon Rahm right now. I feel like we are giving him a really bad rap, because he's been the #1 player in the world for so long. We're expecting him to have a top 5 every single week, and it hasn't been happening. I think we're needing to temper our expectations, because, guys, really, he's doing a lot better than you give him credit for, okay?
It's just been so ugly.
He's playing like a top 10 player in the world.
No.
Yeah, he is. Because the other 9 outside of Scheffler, what are they doing?
The top 10 hasn't been playing like the top 10. Okay, none of them have even sniffed a win this year.
But look at his game this year: 10th, 21st, 9th, 17th. Match play doesn't really count.
But how many conversations have we had in group chats though? We're like, "Oh, Rahm looks terrible."
You know why? Because we're expecting him to be the #1 player in the world.
No, we're expecting him to hit the golf ball well. He's been all over the place, scrambling like crazy. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. Tiger Woods won many times scrambling from everywhere, right? I'm not saying it can't be done, but if you're looking for a sure thing to get inside the top 5, I think that's a risky one. But I've seen worse from you so far. So,
yeah, you have.
My opinion.
The one saving grace that I think that Jon Rahm has right now is I looked at last year when he got super hot starting in May, right? His lead up to that was marginally better than his lead up to this right now. It really wasn't that great. He had some top tens. He was decent. He was making cuts, but he wasn't really getting seconds and thirds.
Yeah.
He was doing decent, but he finally hit that. And
yeah, I don't want to say he came out of nowhere last year, but he definitely overachieved from, the expectations going into the year.
I think he can do it again.
At the Masters this weekend, you think he can do it?
I think he's going to be one of the four.
I think he'll come back.
But this weekend, do you have him inside the top 10? Even money.
Sure,
you can take him inside or outside.
I'll take him inside the top 10.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean that is a tough bet because getting inside the top 10 is pretty difficult when you consider the field. But yeah, I have confidence in Rahm for sure.